Welcome back, guys, to our chess stream on lichess.org. So, I'll be discussing today one of the variation of Queen's Gambit. And if you have been a fan of a chess game, and you should be into the Queen's Gambit Netflix series. So, yeah, download on your App Store or your Play Store, Netflix. All right. So, what we got here is that I played with Josmok. He's around 2,234 and I'm around 2,350. And let's see how it goes. So here I played d4, that the queen's pawn game. And here he played the Horwitz defense. So e6. I played here the c4. And he played here the d5. So it was transposed to queen's gambit decline. Then after that, I go for knight c3, standard for the queen's knight variation. And he played the Charousek variation. So this is quite rare variation for the queen's gambit. So as we continue, I take the pawn on c takes d5 pawn. Then he take the pawn with the e pawn takes d5. Then here I played the bishop f4. We're still in the line of the Charousek variation, the bishop e7 without the knight f6. So that's the variation Charousek. Here I played bishop f4. After that he played c6. So this is similar to Slav or semi-Slav exchange variation. Here I played e3, just planning, just making control of the center. Here he played with bishop d6. This is a bad move based on the engine. As you can see, there's a mark of question mark here, so the engine doesn't like that. It is interesting move, but it is more on into a bad move. What I did here is I just played here knight ge2, just standard development. So the purpose here is if it takes my bishop on f4, I could take it with my knight, but he didn't do it. But instead he played the knight knight e7. Then here I played with the bishop takes bishop on d6. Then he takes it with the queen. And here I played the knight g3. So just development on the knight of g3 and planning to open up a bishop on f1. So that's the plan. He played here the knight f5, not that knight f5, but bishop f5. And this is an opportunity for me to take the bishop because I like to take bishop instead of knight. Because in the late game, when the board is open, the knight is very powerful. So I took that and take back with the knight. Here, I think I play bishop d3. So just standard development for my bishop and making a threat on the f5 square. Here he played queen e6, just uh just supporting the knight on f5 and also making a threat on taking the pawn here on the d4 square. So if you take the pawn d4 square, I cannot took back with my pawn because it's an open check. So that's the threat there. And here I played a castle, and as of this move, I'm already up 1.1 advantage. I castled back, and I put my rook on a semi-open file. Here he played knight d6. I'm not really sure if it's necessary to do that, but maybe he was scared that I can push the pawn here on e5, e4. He can develop the other piece instead of making waste maneuvers. Here I played b3, which is the engine doesn't like it because here he says that it's a question mark and exclamation point. Again, this is an interesting move, but it tends to be a bad move. Here you have played knight d7, just standard development. That's good. And I think the engine was saying that it's pretty equal now. Now I played king f3, and here I think he played knight f6, just maneuvering of knights. I played rook ac1, and he played here h6. So I don't really get the opinion of h6. Maybe don't want to get uh, breathing room. He wants some breathing room on the bank rank. That's one. And the other one, he don't want the h7 to be a target. So here, I think I played a bad move. I played here e4, which the engine doesn't like. And my threat here is just to break the center and could push the pawn here. He take the e pawn with his d pawn. And I think I have to take this with my knight because I don't want to lose my bishop for trades or exchanges for knights. So that's one. And he took it with his knight. I took it with my bishop. Then here, I think he took it with his knight again. He can play based on the engine. He can play uh, d7, queen d7, something like that. But I'm not sure why he did took it. But maybe it's just out of nowhere, random thoughts. Then he just straight away take it. Here I played with I take it with my rook. So rook takes e4. I play He played queen d7 just to avoid the threat on the queen. So I double rook. So this now strong battery on the open file. This is the problem because he he take the bishop on the center, which give me an opportunity to my rook to get lift up and also to double my rook on the e file. So this is a pretty strong endgame scenario. If you have two battery rooks, that will be very very good. Then he want me to have exchanges of rook. So this pretty. If all exchanges, I think this will be dead draw. But I think I played here pretty interesting move, which I played g4. So the plan here is to make some instability on the king side because after g4, if I push g5, then this will create great havoc on the king side. But let's see what happened here. So he took the rook on e4 with his rook. So I take that with the rook, and now he puts his rook on the e8. So he is not playing for a win. He's just playing for a draw. So making exchanges and making some draw after one another. So what I did here is I didn't I just ignore the rook. So the plan here is to play h4 and to push 8 g5. So this will definitely make the king side imbalance. So here he took with his rook, so that's okay. I took with my queen, and now he wants to what you call this exchange now the queen. So he is planning to exchange everything. So what I did here, I can actually play here f3 this move. So just to make center pretty strong, and all of my pawn is advanced, so I have the advantage. But I didn't. I took the queen instead, and here I took it. This is pretty draw already, but I think somewhere he missed some calculation. So he go for advancement. He wants also to advance his pawn, and here I took it. He took it. and I want to exchange this as sacrifice so I could go up with my king and take, and I will have control on the center. So that's what that was my plan, but he didn't. He just played f6. So I go with king f3. He also go for his king 7. I took the pawn as g5. He took the pawn with his f1 to g5. Then it's time for me to maneuver my king to the other side. This is the end game now, guys. This is quite funny because one move literally makes him lose the game. So here he go for this one, and we're planning to compete on the queen side now because the king side is totally locked. We can't do anything here. So he go for, also he's running for the queen side, and this is the bad move, guys, because of the of that bad move of b5. It makes it very weak on this square, on the b4 square, and also on this a5 square. And so what I did, I just go for it, and now this is totally over because this pawn is will be getting eliminated, or I will be able to go to the backside of his king side. So he go there, then I go this way. The a6 is pretty weak now, and I think this is the time that he resigned because also he can't do anything here. It's just a bad move of this push pawn. So basically, the engine was saying this 62. If we continue here, the best move for him is just to push the pawn based on engine. You can't defend this because I will go already to this side, to this a6 square. So the weak square was b4, a5, and a6. Then I will capture this a7 square, and this b5 square is totally weak. So here, if I play that one, he can do this a push pawn. Then I can either take it or just grab put go on to the a7 square. So this pawn is already dead. So what I can do here is just take the pawn, or what we can do here after I put, actually you can do some, no, yeah, this is totally over because after this pawn will be this pawn will be loose. Then this a simple chess theory. You can make it, you can make this queens and it's over. And this is your game for today, guys. The Queen Indian game. I forget the Charousek variation. So it went to endgame. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye bye. God bless.